Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. The NFL Combine is over, so let's talk about the players the Bears met with in Indianapolis this past week. Over 300 players participated. The Bears met with several of them, including quarterback Jake Fromm, a player we've talked about quite a bit. You guys know, I'm not the biggest Fromm guy. I don't love his upside. I think he's a high floor, low ceiling type of guy. I think you're hoping you get Andy Dalton. And if you get Andy Dalton, that's great. He's worth a second-round pick, and that's probably where he's going to be. But if that's the best he can be, and I don't think he can be much better than that, then do you really want to move on from Mitch Trubisky for a guy like Jake Fromm? Now, you can draft Jake Fromm and have him challenge Mitch Trubisky, but if you're spending a second-round pick on a quarterback, it's probably because you don't feel great about the one you currently have. Now, Fromm did have a productive career at the University of Georgia. I don't like how his accuracy waned his junior season. Honestly, his best season in a lot of regards was his freshman year. Sure, the completion percentage was higher in 2018, but came onto the scene as a freshman in Athens, played very well, led Georgia to the national title game. Kind of just the same guy after that. Not a ton of improvement, which is a bit of a red flag for me. Again, I think he could have a chance to be a solid starter. Don't think you're looking at a future Pro Bowler or certainly all-pro type of guy. I think he's more of like a Case Keenum type of quarterback, and I don't know if I want to take that in the second round. But what do you guys think? Should the Bears draft Fromm with the 50th pick? Remember, no first-round pick. You got the 43rd pick, 50th pick. I think 43rd is probably a little rich. Fromm didn't test very well. He lacks premier arm strength. I think number 50 pick could be that range for him. If you think the Bears should take him there, type Y for yes. If you don't, type N for no. I'm typing my N for no. You guys know me. I am not a big Jake Fromm guy. What I am a big fan of is what we're doing here at Chicago Bears Now. Launched about 2 months ago, almost at 3,500 subs. Let's get to 5,000 by the end of March. We got to 3,000 by the end of February. Let's get to 5,000 by the end of March. I believe in you guys. YouTube.com/Bears Now. Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button for Bears videos and coverage all off season long. A quick hit on some skill position players the Bears looked at. Darius Jet Anderson out of TCU didn't run that well in the 40, which makes me think the nickname Jet may not be the way to go, but that's what he's gone by for a while now. Powerful running back. I think he'd be a nice little rotation back in the NFL, certainly a day 3 prospect. Gabriel Davis, the receiver out of UCF, very productive in college. And then Van Jefferson, the wide receiver out of Florida, did leave the combine with an injury, fracture in his right foot. I think he's only going to be out a couple of months, though, so it shouldn't have a huge impact on his draft stock. Somewhere in the middle rounds is where I would expect the Florida wide receiver to go. Now, between running back and wide receiver, neither's a huge need. I think receiver's a bigger need. Running back, I think take one in the 5th or 6th round as a rotation guy, like a Darius Anderson. That could be the way to go. Which way are you leaning? Which skill position would you rather draft? Type WR for wide receiver, type RB for running back. You guys know, I think the Bears could use more help at receiver. You cut Taylor Gabriel. I like David Montgomery. I like Tariq Cohen. I think you can find a rotation back later in the draft or in free agency. So I think typing a wide receiver is something I would focus on more than running back. Let's keep these NFL Combine visits going as the Bears met with several players in Indianapolis. Tight end, a position we've talked about a lot. One of the bigger needs for the Chicago Bears, maybe the biggest needs. How about Brycen Hopkins? Not the best blocker, but a good receiving tight end. 6'4", 245, has size of a modern receiving tight end, runs really well in the slot, is a really good and really productive player out of Purdue, someone you can get in the middle rounds of the NFL draft. Tested pretty well. Here were some of the numbers he put up, and these rankings are for the tight end. So like 40-yard dash, 4.66, that was tied for second among all tight ends, so good number there. 21 reps on the bench, top 5. Broad jump, 9 feet 8 inches. That was in the top 10 as well. He was top 10 in the 3-cone. And then number 4 overall among tight ends in the 20-yard shuttle. Tested pretty well. I think he helped his stock at the NFL Combine. Could he be an option in the 4th round? If the Bears get that comp pick that we're expecting for Adrian Amos, I think that could be an option for the Chicago Bears. You're not going to take him in the 2nd round, but I think round 4, round 5, if he's sitting there, certainly an option. You guys see the production. Good player at Purdue. Really broke out this past season. I think he's somewhere between round 3 and round 5, just depending on how the draft goes. So the Bears met with him. Should the Bears draft or sign a tight end? I've been leaning free agency. It's a strong free agent. group. I like the idea of drafting Austin Hooper. Those rumors have been circulating. But if you get a guy like Brycen Hopkins in the 4th round, I'm down for that. So type D for draft, type S for sign. Let me know which direction you would rather go in down in the comments section. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. You can bet on all kinds of stuff. The XFL, hope you guys are watching. You can go bet on that. If you're not interested in the XFL, go bet on it at BetDSI. Makes it a little more interesting. College basketball's heating up. The NBA, you can bet on 2020 win totals in the NFL. Last I checked, the Bears were at 8 wins. I already got my money for over 8. I'm confident moving into 2020. Chatsports.com/bet. That is the place to go. Use our promo code NFL120. Another tight end here, Dalton Keene. The Bears met with the Virginia Tech tight end out in Indianapolis. Not super productive in college, but very versatile. Played tight end, played slot, lined up outside occasionally. H-back. He catches the ball really well. Decent enough blocker, certainly not great, could improve in that area, but I think he made himself some money this week. I think, quite frankly, he was a late day 3 type of player coming into the NFL Combine. Maybe he sneaks into the 4th or 5th round after testing pretty well, top 5 in every drill except for the vertical jump. That's pretty good for Dalton Keene, kind of an under-the-radar prospect coming into the draft. Versatile player, like I mentioned, which means a team should fall in love with him on day 3. I think he could be a later in the draft type of option at the tight end position. Now, the big bullies, as you guys know, offensive line, a major need for the Chicago Bears. I think both in free agency and in the draft, that will be some level of focus. Met with these 4 guys at the Combine. Matt Hennessy, the guard/center out of Temple. I think he's a 2nd-round type of player. You could select him at number 43 or number 50 overall. Logan Sternberg, Charlie Heck, a couple of other players. Then Ben Bartch, who's a very interesting prospect, Division III St. John's. He put on 70 pounds. Before the start of last season up until now, as he tries to transition into a tackle. Played some tight end in college, so we'll see if he gets drafted or not. The Bears certainly are interested, and that is why they met with him at the NFL Combine. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball. We've talked about edge rusher some. It's a need for the Chicago Bears. Is it a huge need? No, it's not. But outside of Khalil Mack, let's be honest, this pass rush was not great last year. Leonard Floyd, as of now, it appears that Ryan Pace is not going to cut ties with him, but you got to bring some more guys in here. How about K'Lavon Chaisson? This might surprise you guys. You're saying, Bears don't have a 1st-round pick. Well, they met with a couple of 1st-round players. We'll get to the other one in a second. Chaisson, top 20 type of player. Maybe you package both your 2nd-round picks and a late-round pick to get up there if he slides a little bit. Could be an option. He would be exciting as hell next to Khalil Mack. Again, Bears don't have that 1st-round pick, so they would likely have to trade up. Now, Chaisson did not work out at the Combine, so keep that in mind. Another 1st-round target, potentially, is Yetur Gross-Matos, who's expected to go in round 1 as well. The Bears met with both of these edge rushers, so clearly they have their sights set on a pass rusher. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to trade up necessarily and take one of these guys. It just means they like these 2 options, and maybe if one of them were to slide later in round 1, they could pull the trigger on a trade. Didn't do a ton of the stuff at the Combine, only did the bench, vertical, and broad jump in Indy. I'm sure he'll do more at his pro day at Penn State. The problem with Gross-Matos versus Chaisson, Chaisson's more of that 3-4 outside linebacker. Gross-Matos more of that 4-3 defensive end, bigger body, so may not fit the Bears scheme quite as well. But when you put these guys side by side, Gross-Matos more productive, 9.5 sacks versus 6.5 for Chaisson. Tackles for loss were higher. Chaisson did have more tackles. Again, he played that 3-4 outside linebacker. He's probably playing a little more active in the run game. Did have a forced fumble as well. But both these guys are highly regarded, expected to go in round 1. We'll see if one of them slides, if maybe the Bears become interested later in the 1st round. Should the Bears trade into the 1st round of the 2020 NFL Draft? If you think they should, type 1 for yes. If you don't think they should, which I don't really love the idea, not a ton of draft capital already, type 2 for no, because keep in mind, no 3rd-round pick. We think we're getting a 4th comp pick, but as of now, don't have a 4th either. So I'm typing my 2 for no, unless you just feel like a top 15 type of talent drops to 25, 26, and you just feel like the value's too good. But I'll never say never, but I am leaning no on that front. The Bears did meet with some other edge rushers, some more day 2 type of targets here. Bradley Anae out of Utah. I think he's a fringe 2nd, 3rd round guy. Greenard and Zuniga out of Florida. Again, Maybe they sneak into round 2, more like round 3 options. So maybe if you trade down or if they slip into the 4th round, you get that 4th round comp pick. Those guys could be some options there as well. I think pick 43 and pick 50 are a little rich for Ane, Grenard, and Zuniga, but just keep in mind the Bears did miss it with these 3 prospects. We got Bears hoodies on sale. I know spring is around the corner, but it takes a little longer in Chicago. It's very, very cold, so get yourself a hoodie. Up to 30% off. Chatsports.com/Bears hoodies. I love this Khalil Matt custom one. Pretty good price on it as well. I know this sick orange one, it's 30% off right now. These deals don't last forever. Chatsports.com/Bears hoodies. I'll have the link in the comments. I'll have it in the description. Make it easy for you. You just click on it, boom, get you to the site, and you can purchase this stuff today. Up to 30% off. There's tons of Bears hoodies on sale, so go take advantage. More combine visits here for the Bears. This is an intriguing prospect. Jeremy Chinn, the safety out of Southern Illinois. 6'3", 221. Tested really well, and you're thinking, oh, if he has that size as a safety at small school Southern Illinois, he probably ran like a 4.7. No, he ran in the mid 4.4s. He's one of the true NFL combine winners. He helped his stock tremendously. I think it's possible he gets into day 2 of the NFL draft, 2nd or 3rd round. Now, the 2nd round's probably a little rich, but round 3, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility when you look at what he did during his combine workouts. He was tied for 3rd among safeties in the 40-yard dash, 4.45. With that size, 6'3", 221, that's a freak athlete, guys. Bench, he's strong, 20 reps. The vertical, 41 inches, he's explosive. Then he led the way in the broad jump as well. I'm not sure a player helped their stock more than Jeremy Chinn, especially considering he played at a small school at Southern Illinois. Very productive in college, good tackler, 13 picks in his 4 seasons, 31 pass breakups. This guy is a playmaker. Now, Southern Illinois in the NFL, the talent gap is quite different there, but I think he's got a real shot. I like his athleticism as far as special teams value goes. I think Chinn is going to land somewhere and be a productive player. I would love the Bears to get this guy somewhere in the middle part of the NFL draft. What's the Bears' biggest need on defense? We've talked about some defensive players here. Is it edge rusher? Is it safety? Clinton Dix is a free agent. We don't know if he's coming back. Prince Amukamara got released. Maybe cornerback is an option as well. What do you guys think? What is the Bears' biggest need on the defensive side of the ball? And then the last visit here, Geno Stone, another safety. I think he's a late, possibly UDFA type of option here. Player out of Iowa. Quite frankly, should have gone back for his senior year. A little undersized, didn't test super well, but productive player at Iowa. Iowa plugs out a lot of NFL talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see if he becomes an option for the Bears later in the draft.